At the heart of many spiritual and moral teachings lies a profound and unchanging truth, the principle of reaping what you sow. This principle is not merely a guideline for living, but a fundamental law that governs our existence. It is a divine decree that resonates through the ages, revealing that our actions and intentions have far-reaching consequences. Imagine a farmer who plants seeds in his field. He carefully selects the seeds, prepares the soil, and tends to the crops. If he plants wheat seeds, he can expect a harvest of wheat. If he plants corn, he will harvest corn. The nature of the harvest is determined by the seeds sown. This agricultural analogy beautifully illustrates the principle that what we put into our lives will inevitably come back to us. In our own lives, this principle operates with the same precision. The choices we make, the actions we take, and the intentions we hold all contribute to the kind of harvest we will experience. This is not a matter of mere chance or randomness, but a reflection of a profound truth embedded in the fabric of creation. Consider our daily interactions with others. If we sow seeds of kindness, generosity, and compassion, we foster relationships that are nurturing and supportive. When we approach others with respect and empathy, we build a foundation of goodwill that often returns to us in the form of lasting friendships and positive connections. Our investment in others' well-being often yields a harvest of mutual support and encouragement. On the other hand, when we sow seeds of anger, bitterness, or deceit, we cultivate a different kind of harvest. Negative actions and harmful intentions can lead to a harvest of conflict, mistrust, and estrangement. Just as the farmer cannot expect wheat from corn seeds, we cannot expect positive outcomes from negative actions. The harvest we reap is directly tied to the nature of the seeds we sow. This principle also extends to our personal development. The efforts we invest in our growth and self-improvement shape the future we will experience. If we sow seeds of diligence, perseverance, and integrity in our work and personal endeavors, we are likely to reap a harvest of success and fulfillment. Conversely, neglecting our responsibilities or cutting corners can lead to a harvest of missed opportunities and regrets. The principle of reaping what you sow also applies to our spiritual lives. Our relationship with the divine is shaped by the way we live out our faith. When we sow seeds of devotion, prayer, and obedience, we cultivate a deeper connection with God. This spiritual harvest is one of inner peace, strength, and a sense of purpose that guides us through life's challenges. On the other hand, sowing seeds of doubt, disobedience, or neglect can lead to spiritual barrenness and a sense of distance from the divine. In every aspect of our lives, this principle serves as a reminder of the power and responsibility inherent in our choices. It calls us to be mindful of the seeds we plant and to take deliberate actions that align with our values and aspirations. By understanding that our harvest is a direct reflection of what we have sown, we can make conscious efforts to cultivate a future that is rich in positivity, growth, and fulfillment. This principle also encourages us to take responsibility for our lives. It teaches us that we are not merely passive recipients of fate, but active participants in shaping our destinies. Each decision we make, each action we take, contributes to the overall harvest of our lives. By sowing seeds of good character, ethical behavior, and meaningful relationships, we create a harvest that is aligned with our deepest values and aspirations. Ultimately, the principle of reaping what you sow invites us to reflect on our choices and their impact. It encourages us to live with intention and purpose, knowing that the seeds we plant today will shape the future we experience. By embracing this principle, we acknowledge the interconnectedness of our actions and their outcomes, and we commit ourselves to sowing seeds that will lead to a bountiful and meaningful harvest. At the heart of many spiritual and moral teachings lies a profound and unchanging truth, the principle of reaping what you sow. This principle is not merely a guideline for living, but a fundamental law that governs our existence. It is a divine decree that resonates through the ages, revealing that our actions and intentions have far-reaching consequences. Imagine a farmer who plants seeds in his field. He carefully selects the seeds, prepares the soil, and tends to the crops. If he plants wheat seeds, he can expect a harvest of wheat. If he plants corn, he will harvest corn. The nature of the harvest is determined by the seeds sown. This agricultural analogy beautifully illustrates the principle that what we put into our lives will inevitably come back to us. In our own lives, this principle operates with the same precision. The choices we make, the actions we take, and the intentions we hold all contribute to the kind of harvest we will experience. This is not a matter of mere chance or randomness, but a reflection of a profound truth embedded in the fabric of creation. Consider our daily interactions with others. If we sow seeds of kindness, generosity, and compassion, we foster relationships that are nurturing and supportive. When we approach others with respect and empathy, we build a foundation of goodwill that often returns to us in the form of lasting friendships and positive connections. Our investment in others' well-being often yields a harvest of mutual support and encouragement. On the other hand, when we sow seeds of anger, bitterness, or deceit, we cultivate a different kind of harvest. Negative actions and harmful intentions can lead to a harvest of conflict, mistrust, and estrangement. Just as the farmer cannot expect wheat from corn seeds, we cannot expect positive outcomes from negative actions. The harvest we reap is directly tied to the nature of the seeds we sow. This principle also extends to our personal development. The efforts we invest in our growth and self-improvement shape the future we will experience. If we sow seeds of diligence, perseverance, and integrity in our work and personal endeavors, we are likely to reap a harvest of success and fulfillment. Conversely, neglecting our responsibilities or cutting corners can lead to a harvest of missed opportunities and regrets. The principle of reaping what you sow also applies to our spiritual lives. Our relationship with the divine is shaped by the way we live out our faith. When we sow seeds of devotion, prayer, and obedience, we cultivate a deeper connection with God. This spiritual harvest is one of inner peace, strength, and a sense of purpose that guides us through life's challenges. On the other hand, sowing seeds of doubt, disobedience, or neglect can lead to spiritual barrenness and a sense of distance from the divine. In every aspect of our lives, this principle serves as a reminder of the power and responsibility inherent in our choices. It calls us to be mindful of the seeds we plant and to take deliberate actions that align with our values and aspirations. By understanding that our harvest is a direct reflection of what we have sown, we can make conscious efforts to cultivate a future that is rich in positivity, growth, and fulfillment. This principle also encourages us to take responsibility for our lives. It teaches us that we are not merely passive recipients of fate, but active participants in shaping our destinies. Each decision we make, each action we take, contributes to the overall harvest of our lives. By sowing seeds of good character, ethical behavior, and meaningful relationships, we create a harvest that is aligned with our deepest values and aspirations. Ultimately, the principle of reaping what you sow invites us to reflect on our choices and their impact. It encourages us to live with intention and purpose, knowing that the seeds we plant today will shape the future we experience. By embracing this principle, we acknowledge the interconnectedness of our actions and their outcomes, and we commit ourselves to sowing seeds that will lead to a bountiful and meaningful harvest. Spiritual and moral accountability is a fundamental concept that underscores the importance of responsibility in our ethical and spiritual lives. This principle asserts that each individual is answerable for their actions, decisions, and their alignment with moral and spiritual values. It recognizes that our behaviors and choices have profound implications not only for ourselves but also for those around us and for our relationship with the divine. In the realm of spirituality, accountability refers to the understanding that our actions and decisions are not made in isolation but within the context of a larger spiritual framework. This framework often includes adherence to spiritual teachings, doctrines, and principles that guide us toward living a life of integrity and purpose. Our actions are evaluated not merely on a human level but through the lens of our spiritual beliefs and values. Moral accountability, on the other hand, is concerned with the ethical dimension of our actions. It involves a commitment to upholding moral standards and principles that are widely recognized as virtuous and just. This includes acting with honesty, fairness, and respect for others, and understanding that our choices have consequences that impact the moral fabric of our communities. Both aspects of accountability, spiritual and moral, are interwoven, as they both influence and reinforce each other. For example, many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of living a moral life as a reflection of one's spiritual beliefs. This integration of spiritual values and moral behavior fosters a sense of responsibility and conscientiousness in how we conduct ourselves. The concept of spiritual and moral accountability also entails a process of self-examination and reflection. It requires us to regularly assess our actions and decisions, considering whether they align with our spiritual and moral principles. This introspective process helps us to recognize areas where we may fall short and to seek correction and improvement. It is through this continuous reflection and commitment to growth that we uphold our responsibility to live in accordance with our values. Moreover, spiritual and moral accountability often involves a broader sense of duty to the community. Many spiritual and moral frameworks emphasize the importance of contributing positively to society and serving others. This sense of accountability extends beyond personal conduct to include our responsibilities toward the welfare of others. By living with this awareness, we contribute to a collective sense of ethical integrity and spiritual harmony within our communities. In many religious and spiritual traditions, accountability is also linked to the idea of divine judgment or guidance. This belief suggests that our actions are ultimately subject to evaluation by a higher power or divine authority. This perspective reinforces the importance of living a life that is consistent with spiritual and moral teachings, knowing that our choices are observed and that we are answerable for them in the eyes of the divine. Spiritual and moral accountability also involves recognizing the interconnectedness of our actions with the broader ethical and spiritual landscape. It encourages us to consider the long-term impact of our decisions, not only on ourselves, but also on others and on the environment. By adopting a holistic view of accountability, we acknowledge the ripple effects of our behavior and strive to make choices that promote the well-being and dignity of all. Ultimately, spiritual and moral accountability is about embracing a sense of responsibility and integrity in every aspect of our lives. It challenges us to live authentically and conscientiously, aligning our actions with our deepest values and beliefs. This principle fosters a profound sense of purpose and commitment, guiding us to live in a way that reflects our highest ethical and spiritual aspirations. When a story belongs to someone else, it is crucial to honor their right to control how and when it is shared. Each person has their own perspective on what they feel comfortable revealing about their lives. By remaining silent, we respect their autonomy and privacy. This respect is not just about keeping secrets, but about acknowledging that some narratives are deeply personal and may not be ours to disclose. It involves recognizing that others have their reasons for choosing whether to share their stories and that we should not overstep those boundaries. Silence in these situations also helps to protect the relationships between individuals. Sharing someone else's story without their consent can lead to misunderstandings, breaches of trust, and even conflict. It can cause feelings of betrayal or violation, especially if the individual did not want their story to be made public or was unaware that their personal information was being shared. By choosing not to speak on matters that are not ours to disclose, we maintain the integrity of our relationships and build a foundation of trust and respect. Furthermore, silence when it's not your story to tell prevents the spread of misinformation. Often when we share stories that are not ours, we may unintentionally alter the details or misrepresent the facts. This can lead to misunderstandings or distortions of the truth. By remaining silent, we avoid contributing to the spread of inaccurate or incomplete information. We ensure that the story is told in the way the original person intends, preserving its accuracy and integrity. Choosing silence also shows a deep level of empathy and consideration. It demonstrates that we are aware of the emotional and psychological impact that sharing someone's story can have on them. We recognize that there may be sensitivities or repercussions associated with the disclosure of personal information. By being silent, we act with empathy, understanding that our actions can have significant effects on others' lives and well-being. In professional settings, discretion regarding stories and personal information is particularly important. Confidentiality is often a key aspect of maintaining professional integrity and trust. Sharing confidential or sensitive information about clients, colleagues, or stakeholders without permission can lead to serious consequences, including legal implications and damage to professional reputations. By choosing silence, we uphold ethical standards and ensure that we are acting in a manner that respects privacy and confidentiality. Silence, when it's not your story to tell, also fosters a culture of respect and trust within communities. When individuals know that their personal stories will be handled with care and discretion, they feel safer and more valued. This creates an environment where people are more willing to share and collaborate, knowing that their privacy will be respected. It builds a culture where respect for personal boundaries is the norm, leading to stronger and more positive relationships. Additionally, maintaining silence in such situations allows us to focus on listening and understanding rather than speaking. It emphasizes the importance of hearing and valuing others' stories without the need to amplify or disseminate them. This approach prioritizes the value of genuine, respectful listening over the act of sharing information. It reinforces the idea that our role is to support and respect others rather than to act as conveyors of their stories. Silence, when it's not your story to tell, also reflects a commitment to ethical behavior. It shows that we are aware of the moral implications of our actions and are willing to act with integrity. It involves understanding the boundaries of our role and responsibilities and choosing to respect those boundaries, even when it may be tempting to share or speak out. This ethical stance reinforces our own character and principles, demonstrating a commitment to doing what is right. In essence, silence, when it's not your story to tell, is an important practice that upholds respect, integrity, and trust. It involves recognizing the personal boundaries of others, protecting relationships, ensuring accuracy, and fostering empathy. This form of silence is not merely about withholding information, but about acting with consideration and understanding towards the people whose stories we are entrusted with. It is a powerful way to honor the dignity of others and to maintain a respectful and ethical approach in our interactions. In the process of planning and strategizing, silence serves as a critical tool for fostering clarity, creativity, and effective decision-making. When we are engaged in the task of crafting plans or devising strategies, choosing to be silent allows for a deeper focus, more thoughtful analysis, and more innovative solutions. Silence in these contexts is not merely the absence of speech, it is an active practice that supports comprehensive and strategic thinking. Silence provides a mental space that is essential for organizing and clarifying our thoughts. When we are in the midst of planning or strategizing, our minds are often crowded with various ideas, considerations, and potential obstacles. By embracing silence, we create an environment where we can process these thoughts more clearly. This mental space allows us to evaluate different options, weigh the pros and cons, and align our plans with our objectives without the distraction of external inputs. Silence helps us to refine our ideas and to develop a more coherent and actionable strategy. In addition, silence during planning and strategizing enhances our ability to engage in reflective thinking. Reflective thinking involves looking back on past experiences, analyzing outcomes, and applying those lessons to current situations. It requires a quiet and focused mind to consider how previous strategies have worked, to understand what adjustments might be necessary, and to anticipate potential challenges. Silence creates the conditions for this reflective process, allowing us to learn from the past and to apply that knowledge effectively to our current planning efforts. Moreover, silence fosters creativity and innovation. When we are silent, we give ourselves the opportunity to think outside the box and to explore new ideas without the constraints of immediate judgment or external pressures. This quiet time allows our minds to wander, to make connections between seemingly unrelated concepts, and to generate creative solutions that might not emerge in a more noisy or hurried environment. Silence encourages the kind of deep thinking that can lead to breakthroughs and original insights, making it an invaluable part of the planning and strategizing process. Silence also helps in managing the complexity of strategic planning. Effective strategies often involve multiple variables, stakeholders, and potential outcomes. Navigating this complexity requires a clear and composed mind. By choosing silence, we avoid getting overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information and can focus on analyzing and synthesizing the key elements of our strategy. This approach helps in breaking down complex problems into manageable parts and in developing a strategic plan that is both comprehensive and practical. Furthermore, silence during planning and strategizing supports effective decision-making. Decisions made in the midst of noise and distraction are often rushed and less well considered. Silence allows us to approach decision-making with a calm and deliberate mindset, enabling us to evaluate our options more thoroughly and to make choices that are aligned with our goals. It provides the space needed to consider different perspectives, to consult with relevant data, and to make informed decisions that are not driven by immediate pressures or external influences. In collaborative settings, silence can be particularly valuable. When working with a team, there may be a tendency for discussions to become chaotic, with multiple voices contributing ideas and opinions simultaneously. Embracing silence in these situations helps to create a more organized and focused environment. It allows each team member to reflect on the input received, to consider how their ideas fit into the larger strategy, and to contribute more thoughtfully to the discussion. Silence helps to ensure that all perspectives are considered and that the final plan is a result of thoughtful and inclusive deliberation. Additionally, silence during planning and strategizing can enhance our ability to anticipate and manage risks. By taking time to think quietly and deeply about potential risks and challenges, we can develop more robust contingency plans and strategies. This proactive approach allows us to identify potential pitfalls, to assess their impact, and to formulate responses that mitigate risks effectively. Silence provides the space to engage in thorough risk assessment and to develop strategies that are resilient and adaptable. Lastly, choosing silence when planning and strategizing reflects a commitment to thoroughness and diligence. It demonstrates that we are taking the time to fully engage with the task at hand, to think carefully about our approach, and to ensure that our plans are well considered and comprehensive. Silence in this context is a sign of respect for the importance of the planning process and a recognition of the need for a thoughtful and methodical approach. In summary, silence when planning and strategizing is a powerful practice that enhances clarity, creativity, and decision-making. It provides the mental space needed for reflective thinking, creative problem-solving, and effective decision-making. Silence supports the management of complexity, fosters thoughtful collaboration, and aids in risk assessment. It is a fundamental aspect of a diligent and strategic approach, contributing to the development of well-considered and effective plans. In reflecting on our lives, silence serves as a vital companion to introspection and personal growth. It allows us the space to deeply examine our experiences, understand our values, and connect with our innermost selves. By embracing silence, we honor the importance of contemplation and self-awareness, creating an environment where genuine insights and meaningful changes can emerge. Silence in these moments is not merely the absence of noise, but a deliberate choice to engage in profound self-reflection. It offers us the opportunity to step back from the chaos of daily life, to ponder our journeys, and to appreciate our achievements and learn from our challenges. Through silence, we gain clarity on our goals, desires, and the direction we wish to take. It becomes a powerful tool for aligning our actions with our true purpose and for making decisions that resonate with our core values. Moreover, silence during self-reflection allows us to process our emotions and experiences more effectively. It provides a sanctuary for our thoughts and feelings to surface without judgment or interruption. This unhurried space helps us to understand our emotional responses, to heal from past wounds, and to cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace. It is in these quiet moments that we can truly listen to ourselves and discover the wisdom that resides within. Embracing silence when reflecting on our lives also fosters a deeper connection with our personal narratives. It enables us to make sense of our past, appreciate our present, and envision our future with greater clarity. This reflective silence empowers us to acknowledge our growth, to celebrate our progress, and to set intentions that align with our aspirations. Ultimately, silence and reflection is a testament to our commitment to self-improvement and authenticity. It shows that we value the journey of self-discovery and are dedicated to living a life that is true to ourselves. By embracing silence, we honor our experiences, embrace our truths, and empower ourselves to live with greater intention and fulfillment. Moreover, silence in the presence of wisdom helps to build a deeper connection between the speaker and the listener. When we listen without interrupting or imposing our own views, we create a space for genuine exchange and mutual respect. This connection enhances the effectiveness of communication and fosters a more meaningful dialogue. It allows the wisdom being shared to be received in its full depth and richness, strengthening the impact of the insights offered. Finally, silence, when in the presence of wisdom, reflects our commitment to personal growth and self-improvement. It shows that we value learning and are willing to engage in thoughtful reflection. It demonstrates that we are dedicated to expanding our knowledge and understanding, and that we are open to the transformative power of wisdom. Silence in this context is not a passive state, but an active and intentional practice that supports our journey towards greater knowledge and insight. In a world where information is readily shared and stories are quickly disseminated, the principle of discretion becomes increasingly important. Silence, when it's not your story to tell, is an act of respect and integrity. It involves recognizing the boundaries of what is appropriate to share and understanding the implications of speaking on behalf of others. This form of silence preserves the dignity of individuals and upholds the value of confidentiality and trust. Anger is one of the most intense and immediate emotions we experience. It's like a fire that ignites suddenly, sometimes without warning. And if not controlled, it can consume everything in its path. When we are angry, our bodies react, our heart rate increases, our palms sweat, and our minds race. In these moments, we feel an overwhelming urge to speak, to express our frustrations, to defend ourselves, or to lash out at those who have wronged us. However, it is precisely in these moments that silence becomes our greatest ally. Why silence? Because silence gives us space to think, to reflect, and to regain control. Anger clouds our judgment and distorts our perception. What may seem like a grave offense in the heat of the moment may, upon reflection, reveal itself to be a misunderstanding or a minor issue. By choosing silence, we give ourselves the opportunity to see the situation more clearly. We step back, take a deep breath, and allow the intensity of our emotions to subside. Silence also prevents us from saying things we do not mean. Words spoken in anger are often sharp, cutting, and meant to wound. They can cause deep, lasting hurt, not only to the person they are directed at, but also to ourselves. The sting of regret over harsh words can linger long after the anger has passed. When we choose silence, we avoid the need to apologize, the pain of seeing the hurt in someone else's eyes, and the challenge of repairing damaged relationships. Moreover, silence in moments of anger is a sign of strength and maturity. It takes courage to hold your tongue when every part of you wants to speak out. It takes strength to resist the urge to retaliate when you feel wronged. It takes wisdom to know that silence can speak louder than words. By choosing silence, we demonstrate that we are not controlled by our emotions, but rather we are in control of them. We show that we have the inner strength to rise above the situation and maintain our dignity. Silence also gives us the power to respond rather than react. Reaction is immediate, often fueled by emotion, and can lead to further conflict. Response, on the other hand, is thoughtful, deliberate, and seeks to resolve rather than escalate. When we are silent, we create a pause, a moment to consider the best course of action. We can choose our words carefully with the intent to heal rather than to harm, to build rather than to break. In relationships, whether personal or professional, silence in moments of anger can be a protective shield. It preserves the bond we have with others by preventing the erosion caused by angry words. It shows respect for the other person and for ourselves. It communicates that we value the relationship enough to not let a moment of anger define it. In silence, we find the space to reflect on our own emotions. Why are we angry? What has triggered this response? Is there a deeper issue that needs to be addressed? Silence allows us to look within, to understand ourselves better, and to grow. It is a moment of self-awareness and self-improvement. To be silent in moments of anger is to practice restraint, to exercise control, and to choose wisdom. It is to understand that while anger is natural, how we deal with it is a choice. Silence is that choice. It is a choice to protect our peace, to safeguard our relationships, and to honor our integrity. In the heat of anger, when words are ready to spill out, choose silence. Let it be the calm in the storm, the pause that refreshes, the stillness that brings clarity. Silence is not empty, it is full of power, peace, and potential. Choose silence, and you choose a path that leads to understanding, reconciliation, and strength. In our fast-paced world, where information flows constantly and rapidly, there is a strong temptation to speak up and voice our opinions without fully understanding the situation at hand. Whether in personal conversations, social media interactions, or public discourse, the pressure to comment, react, or take a stand can be overwhelming. Yet, it is precisely in these moments that the wisdom of silence becomes invaluable. Choosing to be silent when you don't have all the facts is not a sign of ignorance or weakness. It is a demonstration of wisdom, prudence, and respect for truth. Speaking without complete information can lead to misunderstandings, false accusations, and unnecessary conflicts. When we act on partial knowledge, we risk making judgments that are incorrect or unfair. This can damage reputations, strain relationships, and create an atmosphere of distrust. Silence allows us to avoid these pitfalls. It gives us the time to gather more information, to ask questions, and to seek the truth before forming conclusions. In a world where rumors and misinformation can spread like wildfire, silence acts as a barrier that prevents the flames from igniting. Moreover, silence in the absence of facts protects our credibility. When we speak out on matters we do not fully understand, we risk being seen as unreliable or uninformed. Our words may carry less weight, and our opinions may be dismissed. In contrast, when we choose to remain silent until we have all the facts, we demonstrate that we value accuracy and truth. We build a reputation for thoughtfulness and integrity, and people come to trust our words when we do speak. Silence preserves our reputation and enhances our influence. Choosing silence when we lack information also reflects humility. It is an acknowledgement that we do not know everything and that we have more to learn. This humility opens the door to learning and growth. It allows us to listen to others, to consider different perspectives, and to expand our understanding. In silence, we become students open to new knowledge and insights. We move away from the arrogance of thinking we have all the answers and embrace the journey of continual learning. In times of crisis or conflict, silence can be a stabilizing force. When emotions are high and tensions are escalated, speaking without full knowledge can further inflame the situation. Rash statements and uninformed opinions can escalate conflicts and make resolution more difficult. Silence, on the other hand, provides a space for calm and reflection. It allows emotions to cool and paves the way for a more reasoned and thoughtful response. By choosing silence, we contribute to peace rather than conflict. Furthermore, silence when lacking all the facts is an act of respect for the truth, for the people involved, and for the gravity of the situation. It shows that we value the truth enough to seek it out, that we respect those involved enough to not spread misinformation, and that we take the situation seriously enough to approach it with care and consideration. Silence communicates that we are not driven by the need to be heard, but by the desire to understand. In the age of instant information, silence can feel countercultural, but it is a powerful and necessary discipline. It allows us to resist the urge to react impulsively and to choose our words carefully. It gives us time to gather evidence, to analyze, and to reflect. Silence is not an absence of response, it is a strategic pause that prepares us for a more informed and impactful response. When faced with uncertainty or incomplete information, choosing silence is a sign of wisdom. It shows that we are not governed by the need for immediate answers, but by a commitment to finding the right answers. Silence allows us to honor the truth, to respect others, and to maintain our integrity. It is a choice that prioritizes knowledge over noise, understanding over opinion, and truth over haste. Gossip is a subtle but powerful force that can corrode relationships, damage reputations, and sow discord. It often starts innocuously, a whispered comment, a seemingly harmless speculation, but it quickly grows, spreading like a virus. Engaging in gossip may provide a temporary sense of camaraderie or superiority, but its effects are ultimately destructive. Choosing silence in the face of gossip is not only wise, but also essential for maintaining integrity, respect, and trust in our relationships and communities. When we encounter gossip, the urge to participate can be strong. It can feel like a way to connect with others, to bond over shared secrets, or to be included in a conversation. However, by choosing silence, we resist the temptation to engage in behavior that can harm others. Gossip often involves speaking about someone who is not present, making it impossible for them to defend themselves or clarify misunderstandings. This can lead to the spread of false information, character assassination, and the erosion of trust. By remaining silent, we refuse to contribute to this cycle of harm. Silence in the face of gossip also protects our own integrity. When we participate in gossip, we reveal something about our character. We show that we are willing to talk behind someone's back, to share private information, or to judge others without knowing the full story. This can